and I'm one of the faculty member of Navkar Institute. I welcome you all on behalf of Navkar Digital Institute. I welcome you all. In today's talk show, we are going to discuss the subject SFM, that is Strategic Financial Management. Here for this particular Strategic Financial Management subject, we having expert faculty members with us who are going to solve all your doubts and all your questions. So, first of all, I want to introduce the expert faculty members of Navkar Institute. First of all, I introduce CA Nikhil Zobanputra sir, who is one of the renowned national level faculty member and who having experience of almost 18 years, and this is like a great opportunity for us that you are joining this particular talk show. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. And second, one of the most experienced faculty member of Navkar Institute, that is CA Maulin Kadikar sir, who having the experience of almost 18 years in this field, who is also going for as a visiting faculty at Christ University, Bangalore, and also at the CA Ahmedabad chapter for FM and SFM subjects. So, I welcome you both, expert faculty members of Navkar Institute. Thank you very much for joining us in this amazing talk show where we are going to solve their doubts related with SFM subject. So, sir, can we start with this session? Can we start with this talk show?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, sir. So my first question, that is the basic one, and that is for Maulin sir. Sir, can you please guide us that how many chapters are there in a SFM, sir? And please give a guidance related with this particular subject.
Sure. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. Dear students, there are basically 17 chapters that we have in SFM. When the new syllabus of SFM was introduced. However, from May 20 onwards, 3 chapters have been dropped and there are 14 chapters that we have. Out of those 14 chapters, there are 3 chapters which have only theory. There is not a single practical questions. There is one chapter in which there is only one single practical question that we have, and the remaining 10 chapters are there, which includes not only theory but also practical. That is the way right now total 14 chapters that you have, friends. In that 3 complete theory but also practical. This is the syllabus that you have for CA Final SFM right now.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So the most important part, and that is planning, is most important thing. So here is my second question for Nikhil sir. Sir, can you please guide us that how we can make a strategy for study this particular subject?
Yes, first of all, Nauka madam, I thank you so much for introducing us, and my colleague Maulin sir, thanks a lot, sir, for joining me on this conversation. And the basic question that all the students have, I would answer in one simple way. First of all, a student needs to understand that strategic financial management is a conceptual subject. When it comes to a concept, clarification of concept is the utmost need for a student. So the very first prerequisite of preparing this subject would be a conceptual approach. I have seen thousands of students who are into a position where they are just, mugging up formulas and applications, solving questions, and, still able to score marks. That is a mechanical way of preparing themselves from examination viewpoint. But friends, my first suggestion to all the students is always try to approach this subject conceptually. That is the first prerequisite. Secondly, when you are trying to make a strategy for your preparation, classify your preparation into 3 different phases: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1 is basic preparation and conceptual learning stage. So what happens? A student may now turn to either face-to-face classes, video lectures, or some kind of online classes. Whatever be the medium, whichever teacher you select, that is your choice. Revise and practice the concepts the same, that if you have attended a 3-hour session, the 3-hour session can be revised just in 20 minutes, provided the revision is done exactly the same day. So if you have attended class, practiced and revised it the same day, more than half of the battle is won. Now comes the second stage of the revision, of properly, a planned revision for this subject. I would suggest all the students to spare around 10 to 12 days, which will be enough for revising this subject, assuming that you are just sticking to this one subject throughout. So if you are sticking to this one subject, it would require around 100 to 120 hours of revision time. If a student is assumed to spare 10 hours in a day for this one subject, then it is manageable to cover up the whole revision within 10 to 12 days. If a student is having a revisionary strategy little different, that means a student would want to combine 2 subjects, then it is definitely a fine strategy. This is all dependent on the student's approach. But my basic concern is the required time for that revision should be restricted to 100 to 120 hours, so that you have ample of time to revise the other subjects as well. So the question is, what you need to do in those 100 to 120 hours? You just need to now revise the whole subject, and parallelly you start writing your own conclusive notes. This is very, very important activity that I emphasize all the students to do. Now, there are lots and lots of revisionary textbooks available in the market. Even I have launched my revision book in the market. But no matter whichever revision book you refer, your revision can be best done by your own notes. And don't be lazy on this. You should always constantly keep on writing the conclusive part of each chapter. The findings that you have drawn from the chapter should be written down in your own notes. While you are writing your notes, my advice is draft those notes in such a way that that is the only thing that you are going to study at the last day. If you can do that, it will be fantastic. Now, friends, with every chapter completed, make a checklist of what you have done within the chapter, what you have covered within the chapter, and you may give cross references to the particular question or concept numbers of that particular point. If you have prepared your notes and you have prepared this checklist around this 10 to 12 days of target time, or in other case, I would say around 100 hours of this revision time, you have won the second ground as well. And regarding the last phase of preparation, I'm going to talk about that little later. So, Nauka madam, you may please take hold of the conversation ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for providing such an amazing guidance to students. So, if they all are following this particular pattern, I must say they are going to score a great mark in this subject. So, my next question is for Maulin sir. Maulin sir, this is the most important question, and many students having an issue with that particular question. So that my question is that how can we revise the chapters like derivatives or a portfolio or a forex management? And this is like a very confusing thing. So please guide our students related with it.
Yes, sure, madam. Dear students, like as Nikhil sir rightly said, that when you are doing your working for the first time, in that case, you need to make sure that say you are working in such a way so that say subsequently it will take less time for you to revise the same thing. Importantly, you need to make ABC analysis. You need to make sure that say you are eliminating like the simple questions, you are eliminating moderate questions, and you are focusing only on the conceptual and the important questions. See, whenever a topic is taught to you as a student, then in that case, say we always start from the basic to advanced. We cannot start directly with very difficult question. The reason is that, say, in that case, you will lose your confidence. So we need to explain the individual concepts, and then say we club everything, and that is the kind of questions are even asked by institute in CA examination. So what happens at, say, when you are working out your, like the first revision as sir said, or the second revision, in that case you are required to recognize that, say, which are the questions that I do not need to revise later on. Second thing, that, say, you need to make the summary notes as well. Especially in case of theory, we know that, say, whatever the paragraph or whatever the content which is given to you for any of the answer, for that, say, you can have some summary with which you will be able to recall everything whichever is written in that paragraph. That is the way you need to prepare the summary note. This is the way you are required to do a systematic way of studies. Next thing is that, say, NAVCAR is always going to conduct examination. So what will happen? That, say, once a chapter is completed, examination is kept. For club of chapters, for theory chapters, like that, say, NAVCAR is going to conduct examination by number of days. So what happens? That, say, you need to make sure that after every examination, you have a few points that, say, in this examination paper, what was the important point, which I may not be able to do it successful in examination. This is the way, say, you are required to make a proper planning for your studies. One more thing is that, say, you need to have, say, as sir said, that, say, 120 hours or 100 hours. That is what, say, you are going to take to revise the entire subject. In that also, if possible, you bifurcate. That, say, what like time you are going to allot, that is allot to the individual chapter if possible. That will help you, say, to revise the things very well later on. These chapters are going to take like more than 50 or 60 marks in examination. So in your revision also, you need to make sure, like the chapters like mergers and acquisitions or mutual fund or security analysis, these chapters are there on one hand. These are lengthy chapters and the theory. That is the way you can have some bifurcation, and you need to be very smart. You cannot be conservative, in which, say, you have kept all the questions for the revision. You need to have that confidence. You need to have that idea that, say, which questions you'll require for the revision. This is what's the method that you can have. Thank you, Nauka madam.
Thank you very much, sir. Students, here is the thing. I hope you all are understand this point, because if you are going to follow in this particular way, this subject is going to most important for you, and this particular method for preparing that particular subject helps you a lot to prepare in a better way for this particular subject, that is a SFM. Okay, so great. Now the most frequently asked question that is related with the theory, sir, and I want to ask this question to Nikhil, sir. Sir, can you please guide us that the importance of the theory in this particular strategic financial management subject, sir?
Yes, definitely, Nauka ma'am. Regarding the theory part of the syllabus, there was a time at the old syllabus where students used to skip the theory part in strategic financial management, because generally the exam paper trend was this way. There was one last question which was a theory question, which the student can leave in the choice part, and they can attempt only the numerical or calculative questions. Now ICAI has completely changed the exam strategy, that is in terms of the paper trend, and Maulin sir will be talking about the paper trend to you. I would just say one thing: you will find that the theory questions are scattered throughout the paper, and you will not be finding a question without a small part of theory question being asked. Therefore, it will be completely unwise for a student to leave out theory. Theory should not be left out. In fact, I would say, when you have given all the efforts to prepare big topics like portfolio, forex, derivative, mergers, and you have learned so much, put in little more effort and cover up the theory. So friends, when you are preparing, don't go selective. This is my advice to you. Don't go selective when you are preparing. If you find that there is a choice available in the examination hall, that time you should be able to make a right selection out of what is being asked over there. Selection is to be made over there as in what you should answer and what you don't want to answer. But you should not go for a selective study when it comes to the final level preparation of CA exams. And you know one thing, that ICAI has demanded expert level of knowledge in most of the papers at final CA. And so I don't recommend at all that a student should skip theory part. Preparing theory is not a difficult task. You just need to have a systematic approach. Many students have a misconception that theory is boring. That is what you have to knock off from your minds, that theory is boring. You can just actually get into the stream of preparation and you will start enjoying the theory the moment you have removed that mental block. So preparing theory is essential. That is the concluding line. Yes, Nauka ma'am.
Yes, and I'm again repeating your concluding line, that is a theory is essential and you have to prepare it. So the next question, and that is for Maulin sir. Sir, I want to ask, is there any particular trend in the paper related to asking a question? So there is any particular trend?
Yes. Basically, what happens at the SFM paper is, as sir rightly said, that say even earlier there were 6 questions. Now also there are 6 questions only. Out of those 6 questions, question number 1 is compulsory, and you are required to attend any 4 questions from the remaining 5 questions. That is the way. So you are required to attend total 5 questions in examination. Each of the question is carrying 20 marks. So 20 into 5, that comes to simple 100 marks examination paper. The examination trend that we have, because we know that's the officially the kind of the examination papers that we have. In that, so the institute is asking approximately 3 questions from the recent examination papers, 3 questions in a single question, A, B, C. A, B, C. In that, say A and B are usually practical questions and C is theory question. That is the reason Sir Nikhil sir said that there is 1 theory question which you need to attend compulsorily in every question. So we can say that there are 5 questions, 4 marks for each theory question. So that is the way approximately 20 marks theory questions that we have. Next thing is that we are having ABC. So we cannot break the internal sequence of the examination paper. We have to write the theory along with the practical answers too. In that, further what happens, that the student is required to understand that that is May 18 was the examination paper which was first that is asked by institute for the SFM new. In that, surprisingly, it was 25 marks theory. November 18, only 12 marks. In subsequent attempt, so it was like 20 marks, and then in the recent, it is 16 marks. So, like the theory weightage is there in the examination paper. Roughly, we can say that's the 80 marks of the practical and 20 marks is theory. That is what we have. The last examination was having question number 4. In that, all the 3 were practical questions. However, the 3rd practical question was from that theory chapter, which has only 1 practical question. This is the trend that we have in examination. Yes, Nauka madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I hope students getting the idea related how and which kind of questions are going to ask and the particular trend of paper. So, sir, Nikhil sir, you already talk about the theory, the importance of theory in the SFM subject. But sir, I want to ask a related question with this particular thing, whether the theory is asked from any practical chapter or not.
Yes, definitely. If you could see, there are certain chapters in the syllabus which are basically having only theoretical coverage. For example, topics like startup finance, topics like securitization. These topics, you will find that it's just a theoretical discussion, conceptual discussion given over there. So, calculative from that part. However, it's the other way around, that from all the topics which are so-called practical chapters by the students, which I would say conceptual chapters from which mainly calculative questions are being asked in examination, definitely there is a big chance of theory being asked from there. I'll give you lots of examples. From Forex chapter, there have been certain times that the ICI is asking a question, write a short note on interest rate parity theory. So it would be a theoretical question being asked from a topic where generally students would expect calculative questions. So the objective again is pinpointing to the same conversation, that don't leave theory even when you are presenting or preparing the topics like Forex derivative portfolio mergers. From any point in the syllabus, theory question can be asked. Don't take that chance of leaving out anything. That is again my advice. Thank you, ma'am, and you can proceed ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So I hope, student, you are understanding this point, that is theory are going to ask from practical chapters also. So you have to prepare that particular practical chapter theory also. So now the important point, that is, if you are prepared in a great way, but if you are not able to give an exam in a perfect way, then that is a loss and that is maybe a harmful for you. So here the most important thing I want to ask to Maulin sir, that is, sir, how we have to, how we should, what should be the order of a writing answer in the examination? Please guide us, student, for that particular thing, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Madam, I tell you honestly that this is very tricky question. First thing that I would like to tell you is that as a student, you should start selecting the questions, or you should start attempting the questions which are simple for you, means for which you are confident, and which are small questions. That is what say the starting point of your answer. Further, as I told you that there are three questions, A, B, C. A question and B question are practical. C is theory. A and B question have usually the marks weightage of 10 plus 6 or 8 each. Sometimes it is 12 plus 4. That is the way the marks bifurcation that we have between A and B. And C question is, of course, the theory question. Importantly, we cannot break the internal sequence. It has to be going in that order. As a student, you can start with any question. You may start with question number 4, question number 6, question number 2. Like that, so that internal sequence that you can change. However, within that question, suppose as a student, I am starting with question number 2. I have to write A, B, and then C only. That I cannot break. Importantly, what happens further? That, say, this is what going to be really challenging. As Nauka madam said very correctly, that said this is going to be very tricky. So, like the NAVCAR is keeping regular examinations. We keep the mock test on the regular basis. We make sure that, say, you are having, say, the proper practice, say, before you go for the examination. See, it is really difficult number of times, say, looking to a question and to understand that how much time it will take for me to complete that. It would be sometimes becoming difficult for us to judge. That's a question which looks very simple may become difficult later on, because there is some twist in the question which you might have referred earlier. You might have referred any of the institute publication in which, like a question that you have seen similar to that question is there in examination. However, when you go in doing answer, you find that there is a slight twist in the question and you may get stuck up. So this is really very difficult. However, so the practice is something, so will give you a clarity. With that only, so you will realize that many a times, whatever the answer that say you are already aware, however, when you are actually going to present it, where you are stuck up. Certain formulas are very clear to you when those formulas are there before you. However, say when you close the book and when you write that formula, there may be some confusion that whether this is to be multiplied or this is to be divided. So the writing practice is very much necessary, and with that only you will be able to attempt your examination paper flawlessly. So concluding the point that say you need to appear for the examinations on the regular basis. Try to keep a strategy very, you start with the simple questions and so which will take less time. Another thing that say we can say is something like this. Let us say that's 180 minutes that we have to write our answers. In that, say, let us forget about the 20 minutes. So it is 160 minutes that we have to write the examination paper. We are required to, that is, attend the 5 questions. So roughly, we can say that, say, 160 divided by 5, it comes to 32 minutes. Out of that 32 minutes, let us say it will take approximately 5 to 7 minutes to write the theory question. Because in the theory question, you are required to write which is asked upon. Remember that, say you are required to write only the relevant point. Writing relevant point, you will observe, that is, you will get full marks. You observe the past examination suggested answers, they do not focus on quantity, they focus on the relevant point. If at all it takes approximately 5 to 7 minutes, say to complete that C question, then roughly you will have 12 to 13 marks, so 12 to 13 minutes, so to complete each of A and B question. Further importantly, make sure that say initially you are not so much like concerned of your presentation, writing neat and clean, and because of that say for the initial questions you are investing too much of the time. Make sure that say within 10 to 15 minutes you are able to complete a question, because later on to complete the remaining answer paper you may have scarcity of the time. So from very beginning you need to be conscious. This is what I can say. Nauka madam, pass on to you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. After your answer, I must say practice makes man perfect. So the NAVCAR examination is like a practice for you, and which are going to make your ICAI paper perfect for you. So you have to do a more and more practice, and you can achieve a good marks in this SFM subject. So now the most asked question and the most important question, it's about a last time revision. You know, when there is almost like 12 p.m. and students are in a dilemma how to prepare, and many more questions are there. So please, Nikhil sir, guide our students that how can and which way they are going to revise the whole subject at the quickest way at the last time revision.
Sure, Nauka ma'am. Now, first of all, double thumbs up to whatever Maulin sir has just suggested a few minutes back. That was about the sequencing of your answers. I strongly recommend that instruction given by Maulin sir to be followed by students, because within a question, when it is A, B, C, 3 parts, you should write that one question, all the parts, then only move to the other question, and particularly maintain that sequence. So broadly, all the questions, you can change the order of writing the answers the way you want, but internal sequence should be maintained. I have seen the corrected copies of ICAI solutions where one of the students showed me that, sir, I was given no marks on this particular question. Please look into where did I go wrong. I went through the paper, I have seen student was absolutely correct. Why were no marks given for that? Then I found that the examiner has simply scratched it out. Then I further looked into what is it. When I turned the paper, I saw that it was question number 3. A and B parts were answered earlier, and then other questions were answered, and at the end the student has written the answer for part C of third question, which was not given any marks. And I therefore would recommend you the same thing what Molin sir said, that you should maintain that sequence of writing the content of each question internally. Anyway, I'm sorry I deviated from the question basically asked by Nauka ma'am. Now, this happens to be one of my favorite questions to answer to students. Now, one more thing that I would recall from what Molin sir suggested some time back. Sometimes students, while they are preparing and revising, when they have that formula in front of them, when they have solution in front of them, they kind of, believe that they are through with that, they have absolutely no problem. But when they are sitting in the examination hall, they are not able to recall. This is a common problem I have faced in, students after students. Like thousands of students have conveyed to me that, sir, we are facing this kind of problem. We are simply going blank. Going blank means entire year you have studied and now you are going blank. Do you know what is the cause of this? I know what is the cause of this. It is the last day revision, my friends. What happens? Students develop, first of all, a big panic when it is the last day revision. Your last day revision should be a preparedness for a battle. That is not the day when you start, learning everything and start solving things. Now, first thing what happens is the last day revision should be a clear set of content that you are going to revise. If you don't do that, you are committing a suicide for yourself. It is a clear thing. So what happens, friends? There are some students who would, start bothering their known people, their friends. They would give a call. Hey dear, have you prepared this thing? Have you seen this MTP? Have you seen this RTP? And when you receive this kind of phone call, if you receive this kind of message, and if you haven't done that, the panic starts building up. Now, friends, let us talk very, very sensible thing over here. Do you think subject like strategic financial management, which practically I have been training students over past 15 years with this subject, I cannot say that I have completely prepared the subject. I swear, I cannot say that I have completely prepared the subject. No one can. No one on this earth can come and tell me that he or she knows the entire subject. Friends, how can someone have entire knowledge? No one can have. So somewhere you have to set a boundary. Somewhere you have to create a boundary that this is what I'm going to prepare. And therefore, if you want to prepare, if you want to solve RTP, you plan it early. If you want to solve mock test, you plan. Everything should be pre-planned. You should have a clear plan of what you are going to do in those last 8 to 10 hours of your revision time at the last day. Once you have devised that plan, stick to that. If it is not your luck to pass exam in spite of this effort, you cannot do anything. But my point is, go with a systematic planning. Don't be haywired. Next thing, why students go blank? I'll tell you what happens. Before SFM, it is financial reporting paper. Friends, writing an examination for 3 hours and sitting and learning for 3 hours, both are two different activities. Writing an examination for 3 hours drains you off fully. So suppose I am a student, I have given exam of financial reporting paper, the first paper at final CA, financial reporting. I am already extremely tired by that day's evening. After coming back from exam hall, I actually don't want to do anything. What students do is they force themselves to prepare for the next paper. Why? Because they have that fear in their mind that we will not be able to, recall everything if we don't revise properly. Friends, if you don't give your mind a proper rest that it requires and that it deserves, your brain is not going to work. It is not going to work. some point it will go blank. So avoid studying that day. If at all you want to study, take a good break, get relaxed. If possible, meditate, listen to music, do some activity which don't make you tired mentally but give you relaxation. And then maybe for a couple of hours you try to prepare something, try to revise something, and everything that you are doing should be pre-planned. Fortunately, this is the era where ICAI is giving a days of gap between two papers. So after FR examination, immediate next day you don't have an examination, you have an off. That is the day where you have to systematically sit for 8 to 10 hours and prepare and revise the whole content. And here your handwritten notes will be useful. Those checklists that you have made will be useful over here. And friends, once you are done with those 8 to 10 hours, don't try to stretch beyond that, because I am telling you, you cannot do anything. You cannot prepare the whole thing anyway. You will have to leave it at some point. You will have to give yourself rest. When I say rest, it has to be a mental rest. So a complete sleep at the night before examination is necessary. 7 to 8 hours of sleep I strongly recommend, because your brain is going to recall everything from what we call as subconscious mind, provided it is having enough energy to perform. Now friends, what happens? Imagine that I have to run a marathon race, and the race begins at 6 o'clock, and I get up at 2 a.m. and start practicing for that race. I will make myself tired by the time the race begins. Do you agree with me? If you understand this simple point, what happens? The physical fatigue is visible. Mental fatigue is not visible. So what will happen? I have seen students, they keep themselves stuck to books. They keep on reading till the time they enter the examination hall. And that is a simple way to commit a suicide actually. Don't do that, my friends. Don't do that. In fact, that day earlier to your examination, you have planned proper revision of 8 to 10 hours. Have a good night's sleep. Next day when you get up, you should be feeling fresh. It is not a burden upon you which is coming as an examination. It is an opportunity for you to prove yourself that you are capable of being a chartered accountant. It is an opportunity for you. When you are facing an opportunity, why should you be under any kind of stress? You should happily face that opportunity. It's like, someone, for example, today I have been given a chance to speak. I am under no stress because I am allowed to express my opinion freely in front of you. That is what you have to create as a mindset, that you are there to express yourself at the examination hall. And that is why enough rest is a mandate. Then when you are up for the day, you may spend 1 or 2 hours without taking stress of revising something that you feel like. If you don't want to touch your books, that is the best thing. So friends, I would say, I'm not talking just for a sake of formality. I am still writing exams. I am still into learning mode. And what I'm practicing for myself, that is the same advice I'm giving to you. I'm not giving you an advice the otherwise. So if you can just stay away from books, you are fine with it. Face your examination with complete relaxed mind, and you will notice that you will get everything recalled as and when you are approaching questions. Everything. Your brain is in 100% active mode if it is at a complete rest the night before. So these are my little bitter advices which a student not will follow or not, but what I have spoken is, to the best of my understanding, extremely workable for students. That's all I would want to say. Thank you so much. Thank you, Molin sir. Thank you, Nauka ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. I must say, these are going to helpful for the students in a 500%. And this is the thing which I want to ask, which like this is the question which students are asked on a constant basis, and you both gave a perfect guidance and perfect solution for all the questions asked by students. Thank you very much, sir, for guiding our students, for guiding our NDI students in a great way. I am 100% sure that if they all are going to follow this all advice and all guidance provided by you, when it's about theory or when it's about the last moment revision, they are going to crack this exam, this particular subject in a great way. So thank you very much,
Yes.
Maulin Karikar sir and Nikhil Joganputra sir, for joining us, for guiding our students in a best and amazing way, solve their issues and solve their problems in a best way. Thank you again. And yes, my dear students, I hope this session is really like it's a great session for you all, which provide you all the solution for all your doubts, all your questions. And you have to do only one thing: follow what expert says, follow the method, follow the instruction given by them, and you will get a great result in a SFM, that is a strategic financial management. So all the best to you all for a best preparation, and be safe and be happy and prepare well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
If you like this video, share it with your friends. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more such videos and learn from our expert faculty members. Press the bell icon to get regular notifications whenever we upload a new video. Download NDI mobile app to get complete CA course online. We value your support. Thank you for watching.